It's March 1st and it's cheese, but it's fun and it's free.
I don't do dances.
Do this dance with me.
Goodbye, Henry.
Is this working? I hope to God that this looks like how it did. I figured out how to make my camera I figured out how to make my phone a monitor for my Canon, because I haven't been using my Canon for a while because I thought I had lost the charger. I thought the only charger I had was for my old Canon point and shoot. It wasn't a DSLR, it was a graduation present I received, and I thought that was the only thing I had, when in actuality the only charger I have is for this camera. And I found it the other night and I was like, wow, I'm stupid. So I had this at my disposal the whole time, and then I had to tackle my other issue, which was knowing what's in the monitor, because I have nothing that it doesn't flip forward. It's a camera from 5 years ago. So I found out that Canon does make an app that turns your phone into a remote. However, it doesn't show me what I'm filming while I'm filming it. It only works for pictures, so that's helpful for other reasons. Unfortunately, if I want an app that does that, it's about 20 bucks. And this month, money has been few and far between. I have, I'm currently doing like Saturdays, and that's it. I made $80 this week. I had filmed a lot of stuff, and then the whole month, we were 11 days in, went off the rails. Because this month I was like, I'm gonna make better use of my time. I'm gonna try and finish my degree. I'm going to find a different life path. I embarked on all of these projects, this probably being one of them, but this one I've done before and I know I can do it. But what I came to realize like a day or so ago was that I'm doing all of this stuff to distract me from the deeper issues that are causing me to not be able to pursue anything. If you have ADHD, you'll be familiar with something called task paralysis. This is like life choice paralysis. Hold for bus. If you've ever read The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath, there is an entire passage about plums, where she talks about a bunch of plums on the tree and they all look so great and nice, and she can't choose one, but the longer she waits to choose one, they start to shrivel up and die. And it's a metaphor for life, and I'm like, me too. And the task paralysis or the life choice paralysis is coming probably from the ADHD and the many mental things I have. My anxiety, I've come to realize, has not been managed as well as it could have been. I just thought this was just me and the way I am and my personality. When it's come to my attention that the meds might not be doing what they're supposed to be doing because I have not made progress since I've been put on them. Because when I go out, I am still constantly self-checking and worried I'm going to get mysteriously ill, or I'm constantly planning escape routes for fun stuff. Like, for like fun things that I want to do, that I made the choice to do. And like certain things falling through, I have crazier reactions than I should have. And I don't want to use the word crazy, but I couldn't think of a better word. So I was going to something later this month and my ride fell through because I do not drive on highways, because that is a massive phobia of mine that I should be working on, but I'm not, and something is stopping me. So when my ride falls through, or when a friend falls through who's usually my ride, my reaction is usually very extreme, even though this is something that happens to everybody. Like when plans change and things like that, I react really wildly and like over the top. Like, I mean, it's okay to get frustrated, but I get freaked out like when the plan falls through. And also, if stuff becomes too much for me, I don't tell people it's too much for me because I just want everything to go smoothly, and it's better if I just go along with it than freak out. But I've had like these incredible, not panic attacks, but I will get scared when plans start to fall apart, or I will get really irritated in a way to try and fix it and keep it together. So a lot of things have come to my attention and I'm not really sure how to proceed. And I have an event at the end of the month that I'm going to, that the ride fell through. My friend I'm going with doesn't drive, period, so that creates a different set of obstacles, and they live far from me, but I've made no progress. So I think this month, and I said at the beginning of the month, I associate March with depression. I tend to, and I don't do it so much anymore, but like throughout my life, I tended to associate March with like depression. Life as I know it now, or I have, for me, like I feel like my young adult life, or just my adolescent life, began in like 2009. So when I have really strong memories, they kind of start there. We're getting deep. Okay. So when I was like 12 years old, like that's where I tend to kind of think of like as like my adolescence beginning. Because when I think back to like a child self of me, I think to 12-year-old me. I tend to not think any younger than that. That was the year I got diagnosed, and they were trying me on all these different medications, and like my mood was like side effects and things like that. So March I always kind of associate with depression. Not really sure why. Probably because like a lot of stuff happened March 2009, 2010 maybe. I always find it to be a rather gray month. And it can go either way. It can be very snowy, it can be very rainy, or it can be like rather mild. But yeah, I tend to like associate it with depression. It's a very in-between month too. So I think like you'll get like gray days like this, and then you'll have like warmer days. And then in like 2017, after I'd left school and everything, March I still kind of associate with like depression, but it's also like right before my upswing in 2017, because I had a lot of like breakthroughs around that time in the spring. March, April, like we were kind of working our way there, and then once we hit late April, May, things started to really kind of take off, and I had a really good summer in 2017. And I think I associate it with mental health because it's a very transitional period. I think we're still going through that transitional thing from February. Where in February it was physical, and now it's mental. And I'm starting to have to come to terms with where I am in life, because I think I could have been further along if I'd been doing the work, and I think I may have fallen off the wagon a bit in terms of work on myself.
You are listening to the orbiting human circus of the air.
I'm on like day 3 or 2.5 of a headache. This is like the 3rd time this has happened. I think the first time I can remember it happening was like right at the beginning of quarantine. Like I was just nursing this thing for like a couple of days, a few days, and like pain meds did nothing. Sleep did nothing, and I thought it started as like a hunger headache that I just let get out of control, and then it just turned into a full-blown like maybe migraine for a couple of days. But this one started like at night in the evening after I'd eaten food and everything, and I was like fairly fine. But I'm also on my period, so I thought that had something to do with it as well. And then last night when I was dealing with like the pain, I googled like headache right hand side down my neck, and I said like lasting several days, and it came up with like migraine, and then it came up with tension headache, which wasn't it because it was like mild pain. I was like, this isn't mild. And then I learned about something called rebound headaches, which apparently comes from overuse of over-the-counter drugs, which because I'm on my period, I've been taking a lot of ibuprofen. I never take above the recommended dose, like I don't take more than 6 a day because that's what they say to do, and usually I try to take like maybe only 3, like half that, but I guess I've been using it too much because if you use it a lot you get a rebound headache, and then the treatment was to wean yourself off it and then go to the doctor for preventative medication, because migraines do run in my family, and this one's symptoms did list watery eyes and like runny nose as a symptom, which come with these. Like it feels like I need to cry to like release tension or something, like not emotionally, like physically. So that's where we're at today. I want to get back to like reading and stuff, and like my face hurts all down like my mask, like on my right side, and then it goes to my neck and sometimes my ear and sits in my shoulder, and there's no shoulder tension or anything because I keep like massaging it. Everything feels quite loose and fine there. It's just this ache. Moving around and like eating in like differing temperatures, like actually heat feels quite nice on my face. But I'm hoping like going a day without pain medication will just kind of reset everything, and then I can like talk to the doctor and be like, what is this? Make it stop. And then I'll have to go in at some point to talk about possibly upping my anti-anxiety meds, and I'm possibly thinking about going back on ADHD medication, but that's a separate issue just because I worry about starting things because I'm worried I won't finish them. Like I'm worried I'll get burnt out, or I'll just lose interest, or it will end up being just a hyperfixation and I will abandon it. Just figure out like what would work for adult me rather than child me. Also your brain chemistry changes and all that stuff. So until I can do that, I'm also trying to just go back to basics here. So unfortunately I'm like going off the rails with the headache and everything because I don't want to do my normal morning routine, which is like reading and like doing journaling and things, because it hurts my eyes, so I end up like watching things instead because it's just easier. But I've been really good about like my physical, rolling out my muscles and stretching before bed on days I don't have work. Like I stretch like once a day. If I do have work, I have to do it twice a day. I have to do it before and I have to do it after. Otherwise, stuff really tightens and I get a flare-up like I had earlier this month. Good afternoon. It is March 6th. And it is a flare-up day for my, I hate saying it, it's such a hard word to say, sacral iliitis. Sacral iliitis. Which is, I'm pretty sure how it's pronounced, but when you read the word, you're like not sure. And trying to make my legs stop doing this. Because when you go for weeks without working, and then go into a 6-hour shift where you're standing the entire time, your body doesn't like it. However, if I'm too sedentary, which is what I have been doing, I get a very different kind of pain, which was that sharp, pokey pain I had 2 years ago when I first started feeling this. So I'm like trying to figure out if heat's gonna do anything, which I don't think it will. But also it's inflammation, so I may need to actually ice it instead. I've taken 3 ibuprofen. It hasn't really done anything. It's really uncomfortable and it's really tight and tender and I don't like it. We're trying to go back to basics. Physical, like getting back into my routine that I'd set for myself to kind of regulate me. It's supposed to snow today and rain and sleet. It's supposed to be like wintry mix. Right now it's like misty. This is what I call, if you see it on my Instagram, I call it Bronte weather because this looks like every Bronte sister novel. Like, this just looks like Jane Eyre running through the moors weather when it all becomes too much. Can relate. This isn't really with the overall theme right now, but I was just up here doing some headshot stuff, and all of a sudden the doorbell starts ringing and ringing and ringing and ringing, and I thought some kid was like playing a prank or something, and then turns out we thought the doorbell was shorting out, so then we kept trying to shut it off, and it kept ringing and ringing and ringing and ringing, and then Kevin was like in the box thing, like trying to shut it off. And then eventually we figured out how to shut it off because our doorbell, there's two doorbells. There's one on the side and there's one in the front of the house. So the doorbell on the side of the house was stuck, which is why it kept ringing and ringing and ringing. And then we discovered that our doorbell has options. Like, you can play different songs. It played Happy Birthday. It played Beethoven's Fifth. It played the national anthem. It had all different sounds. There was like 10 at least. So I learned something today. It's like shower. It's like 12:10. My head feels better. I still feel something, but the pain is definitely way down from yesterday. I don't know if I ate enough yesterday. I don't know, like, I was woken up by like hunger pain feeling, so I had some lemon ginger tea just to like get me to the point where I could go downstairs and make food. So I had like an actual egg and toast and like one of those Chobani smoothie things for protein and coffee, and now it's like lunchtime, so I should probably eat again. I have a show to see tonight. I'm gonna go see the My Fair Lady revival. It's on tour, so I'm gonna go see that. So I kind of want to preserve my energy a bit today, so I'll be good to go tonight. And it's really freaking cold. Did not realize that daylight savings time ended, so I woke up this morning and my like non-internet alarm, like my regular analog alarm clock, was like an hour behind, and I was really confused. So I lost an hour, so I like to chalk up my weird feeling probably to the fact that I lost an hour of sleep. I also kind of woke up in the middle of the night too because I was dealing with like those weird hunger pain stomach things. Just felt weird all week. I felt a little like anxious and jittery this morning, I think because I was so worried that my headache was gonna come back. So I did like a whole 24 hours with no meds yesterday for it, and then my mom gave me some like extra strength headache stuff right before I went to bed. So I think that did a lot. Things are tense here. I think I did tense while I was sleeping, so I may use like a lacrosse ball or something and just roll out my shoulder and something a little bit, trying to remain relaxed. I might take a bath today just so I can like sit in some heat and I can re-dye my hair, because that's when I put my color conditioner in. Not that I really need it. I haven't really noticed anything glaringly bad. Get this to go down. I've been battling with this piece of hair for like a day because I washed my hair yesterday and then slept, and then it keeps sticking up. I have therapy tomorrow, so I'm gonna talk to her about everything I've been feeling and how to proceed, because I'm tired of feeling like this. I do think these headaches and these weird little nausea spouts have to do with anxiety or my mental health. They have to be tied to it in some way. So I think I do need to have a chat, because I'm sick of living like this I just, like, if I don't have a massive headache, I'm puking my brains out. If I don't do that, my stomach is a mess. I'm just tired of it, and I'd like to not have to risk assess every major thing I want to do because of it. Like, and constantly worry that my mental health is going to disrupt something that I want to be a good thing. Be that travel, be that like just fun things I want to do, be that everyday stuff like driving on the highway. The fact that I can't seem to get over that hurdle, even though logically in the back of my mind I know I'm capable, and I've done it before. I've done it before, successfully, with somebody in the car and by myself. Granted, I've done it once and it's been so long since, but I just need to, there's some hurdles that I have not cleared and I need to figure those out. Another thing is, I feel like therapy's been remote for me for the past 2 years, so I don't think it's as easy to get into deep discussions and things like that when I'm sitting in my own house, when might be people walking by who might hear me, like you don't feel as comfortable. So I feel like maybe I've been keeping everything kind of at arm's length for right now in therapy. I know now she is starting to do in-person sessions again, so I may go back to that, just one, to get me out of the house so I have some semblance of routine that isn't me stuck in my home, and two, so I will feel like it's a designated space for me to just unload and be honest and like, yeah, and like I can remove myself, like it's a compartmentalized space for me to deal with my bullshit. I'm going to the show with my dad tonight, so I have to be at his house by 5:30. So it's like 12:16. I should probably eat something. I'm nervous to take any pain medication. There's just like a little pokey something right down here at the base of my skull. But yeah, hopefully today will be better than yesterday. It's sunny, that's helpful. It's not like a major rainy storm. It's icy and it's cold. It's March. She's an explorer. Hi. Did you It's Viper Lady, you know.
Please recommend them, or just recommend them to other commenters so that you guys can all get a bunch of recommendations from each other. I love.
So I'm going to interview for a job today. It's like on this farm, it's like in their dairy store, but they're holding walk-in interviews today, like on the spot interviews, and I thought it might not be a bad idea considering I'm not making any money right now, and it might be like a nice thing to do in spring and summer. And then I was able to pay off my credit card. I had to pull from savings, and then I finally got word on my tax return, so that will be coming next week, so then I can replenish those savings. So I'm feeling a little bit more financially secure, so I'm going to allow myself to go to Barnes & Noble afterwards as a reward. I've been like on a total book buying ban for like a month now because my financial situation has been so bad. Had therapy this morning. We talked about a lot of things. Basically, my biggest issue is how I talk to myself, because I get really, really down on myself about how my body reacts to everything. I get so pissed off that like I am incredibly sensitive to things, so it makes me feel like weak and like bad, and I constantly worry that I'm ruining things because I keep getting like just things like travel and stuff just make me ill, and like I want to be doing these fun things, and like I worry that I'm ruining it for people. because I can't keep up, or I'm constantly trying to make sure that like I have to like, I end up always packing like super heavy because I never know what's going to bother me that particular time. So like packing extra food and like having earplugs with me all the time, or even like just stuff so I can roll my leg out, which reminds me I should be rolling my leg out because my leg hurts and I didn't do it when I came home from the theater last night. But like things like that, because I kept saying, I was like, I'm doing all these things and I have all the tools and I know how to manage it and everything, and I'm just like, and she's like, yeah, but like you're still not very nice to yourself about it. So there's a lot of things we still have to work on. In terms of in-person therapy, like I talked about, we'll see, because right now she's only doing afternoon appointments in person, and I do mine in the mornings. So depending on what the work situation is going to become, you know, we'll see if that's doable. If anything, I just move to Tuesdays because that's like my really only other free day. But if I get this job and I like this job, like, because granted, I have to keep in mind that when I go into an interview, I'm interviewing them too. Their hours and shifts seem to be much more uniform and steady. So like same thing every time, which is helpful. So if I have a predictable schedule, that's helpful. That's where we're at right now. But I'm gonna have a good day. I'm gonna go try and do something to improve my life, and I'm gonna do something that brings me joy, which is book shopping. And I also have to like run errands, like buy toothpaste and stuff, because now, buy toothpaste and get gas, but at least it doesn't feel like a piece of my soul is dying every time I get gas now, because at least my credit card is better, and also I'm getting cash back on gas stations starting next month, so that'll be good, because boy do I need it. So things went well. More than likely I'll probably get a call, although getting to that farm was very confusing. And when I thought it was going to be separate from the farm, but it was in the farm. There were cows. The one thing I'll probably have to be wary of is I'm going to probably still keep my current job while hours are down, and then do this one to supplement because the hours just aren't there right now. So the thing is, I just have to start coordinating. Well, if I get the job, they're gonna have me do a trial first. They're gonna, like, everybody they pick is gonna do a trial shift, so that way I can actually see what it takes, because the shifts are short. They're like 4 hours, where my normal job I'm doing like 6 hours. But they try to give everybody a trial shift just to see if this is really something they want to do, and they said like you're pretty busy the whole time, which is kind of nice, because I'm pretty bored at my current position because nobody comes in and I'm left by myself. A little change of pace, and it's outside, which will be nice for the spring and summer. I need like fresh air. I think it would be good for me. One thing I have to keep in mind though is my body. So I did that, went to Target, and then went to Barnes & Noble, and my back, and this, granted, this is probably because I did not stretch when I came home last night, and I should have rolled out because I'm paying the price right now. I was in heels last night, which I need to put some kind of insole in there because I hadn't worn them in a while and they were hard AF. And then sitting for 2 hours last night at the show with, like, in a very tight theater seat definitely exacerbated something. So now my back hurts because I was walking around with heavy books as well. Lovely, but I had an okay day. So we're gonna do some floor time now, and then I'm gonna muster the courage to make some food and clean up my room because it is a mess. I don't want to get up and turn the camera off. Get up and turn the camera off. Hello. I took a bit of a break yesterday, just like a little day off, do nothing day, which was a little bit derailed because Ren had a friend over. They were up here the whole time, so I had headphones in the entire time because I could hear them. The walls are quite thin here, so I could hear them talking and stuff like that, because my plan was just to like have a quiet day, relax, have the windows open, do some reading, And that didn't really happen. I had trouble going to sleep last night, so I ended up sleeping in today. So an errand I wanted to do today, I'm gonna have to do on Friday. Just because if I go out at the time I want to go out, it's when school lets out and I will get stuck in like the worst traffic ever. So I'm just gonna do it on Friday. But yeah, no, yesterday was pretty quiet. I'm kind of gonna allow myself to do a little bit of that today, just like quiet day, get some reading done. Which, speaking of reading, we need to talk about something. This is the book I've been reading for the past like 2 weeks, and I made a good sizable chunk yesterday. I am like halfway through, and it is about 2 theater kids in their senior year of high school going to New York for the night without telling their parents. Both have different motives for doing so, and they're both like polar opposite friends, things like that. I was like, I can relate to that. And they're from Connecticut. I'm also from Connecticut. So I was expecting like references to things I knew growing up in Connecticut and also going into the city quite often. However, they live in, I'm gonna call this town fictional because when I Googled it, it is a part of Connecticut. It's Greenwich County, I think. Greenwich County is where the rich people live. If you've watched Gilmore Girls, Greenwich, West Hartford. Hartford is not a nice city. If you didn't know, now you know. They live in the town of Stanwich, which if you Google Stanwich, it is a part of Greenwich, which is a town as well. So when I was reading through, because they said we live 45 minutes from the city, and I assumed they maybe were going to place these kids on maybe the shoreline, because that is how the train system runs. It's on the shoreline. They live in Greenwich, in like Greenwich. These are rich kids. They don't fully address that. But yeah, these people live so close to the city that it is like a commonplace thing to go, where for us, this is like a day trip. This is something we would do on weekends occasionally when I was in school. And it was always like an adventure. And now that I have to commute so regularly, I'm like, this is a nightmare. I hate that you live 45 minutes from the city. But then they listed the, I'm sorry, I'll put a timestamp, like if you don't want to hear me rant about this, but they put, like, there's one part of a chapter where they list the stops on the Metro North, the New Haven line, which is the line that, like, everybody takes to get to the city. And they were listing towns I'd never heard of, and then I realized that it's supposed to be Greenwich they're talking about. Instead they say Stanwich, which is, yeah, it was weird. And then when they get to the actual New York stuff, it's all very accurate. I find it's very accurate. Like, just the... it's giving me secondhand anxiety because they go to the city, and this isn't spoilers, this is all in the synopsis. They go to the city for different reasons. One of the friends thinks it's for one reason, the other friend is there for another purpose. Yeah, they end up there with like no phone, a dog, and like locked out of an apartment. Like they have no money, no nothing. Like they end up losing their bag and everything too. And I'm just like watching how these 2 girls tried to navigate New York with no phone and no money. It gives me so much anxiety because I know if that happened to me. This is coming from the girl who, like, in college, I used to have an emergency $50 bill, like, tucked into, I used to have a pair of combat boots with pockets on the side, and I used to keep an emergency $50 in there. I don't do that anymore now that I have, like, credit cards and, like, they're tied to your phone and things like that. And I have to keep reminding myself that these girls are minors, so when they talk about, like, well, I can't use my credit card because it's all tied to their parents, they do not have credit cards, I'm like, oh yeah, because like in my case I would have been like, just use my phone, I'll just pay with this, I'll just whatever. And this was written probably in like either 2020 or 2019, and then it was published in 2021, before the subway has now switched over to phone payment instead of MetroCard. So there's like certain things where I'm reading through and I'm like, well, there's solutions to certain things now, but it's funny, I don't know if I'm enjoying it or not, but every single time I think I'm about to get bored or annoyed or want to put it down, something insane happens. Because there's also, and I can't go too much into this because it is spoilers, there is a C-plot in this book. It's like a few chapters. Like, you don't see it often, but there is a C-plot where you're from the perspective of a different character, and it's just insane. It's like a total genre shift, and you're just like, what is happening? This is so crazy because I find the main story quite rooted in reality. I do. And then this other C plot is so not rooted in reality, and it's killing me. I do love that the author did choose to put a giant photo of their Pomeranian on the back. But I'm having a wild time. I may make a whole video on this because it's theater kid centric and I don't really tend to get a lot of books about theater kids. But yeah, Take Me Home Tonight by Morgan Matson. Insanity. So the plan today, I guess, is get a little reorganized, clean up my room a bit. I always say that, clean up my room a bit. It just got cluttered because I was digging through several bags yesterday looking for headphones because I couldn't remember where I put my Bluetooth headphones. Just want to do that. My body feels great. I'm a little sore from the gym, just like up here, because just a lot of arm, shoulder stuff, but overall comfy. I've got some nice leftovers for lunch. It is warm out. I need to go outside. I keep saying I need to go outside and then I don't go outside. I did have the windows open most of the day yesterday, which I probably do today. I do have to get rid of my poor flowers. Those roses from the beginning of the month, yeah, they're dead now. They were straight up and down yesterday, and now they look like this, and I cannot figure out for the life of me how to get them to not do that. Because I've had flowers before, and I've put them in water, and it actually has made them better. But for some reason, there seems to be this trend where I put them in water and they immediately die. And then it was suggested to me, like, the last time this happened, that maybe the bottoms had sealed off, so to cut the bottoms off. Because I didn't cut the bottoms this time because they were already cut so short. Maybe I need to cut the bottoms off again. By the time you see this, any advice you give will probably be irrelevant because those will probably be dead by the time people see this. They did perk up, though. Cutting off the bottoms did help. But I think I need to... we need to get rid of them because they are dead now. I do want to clear off my windowsills a bit. I think I can put my Christmas candles away. And I do want to, hold please. You can see my books. Only a Monster is actually blocking what I want you to see. But I got these bookends from Owl Crate. And I've been trying to figure out how to get my books to stay on a windowsill for a while. These did it. So I want to get more like that. I used to think I'd have to get something really fancy, but oh yeah, I could totally like figure out how to put books along the windowsill, which is why I want to clear off my candles here and my water bottle that I use to fill my humidifier, clear that off so I can make room for possible books, because this pile is out of control. I don't know how good this framing is. I did it the old-fashioned way without my monitor. But yeah, that's my day. It's already half over, it's 1 o'clock. Anyways, I should probably get on. I have to make this quick. Part of my appearance, I realized last night I need to start wearing my glasses more because I was trying to watch something on TV last night and I'm sitting in bed. My TV's not very big and I didn't want it to be very big because this room isn't very big. And I was like, I'm having trouble focusing. Ever since I got my new glasses and my new prescription, when I don't wear them, I'm starting to notice it more. What's good is that at the beginning of the month, I was worried I wasn't going to adjust. Like, I had a bit of a motion sickness thing when I put my sunglasses on. I just spent like 2 minutes doing this. I think it might be because these are more curved than these. These I got from Warby Parker. They're very flat. So when I move around, the world doesn't warp, which is the same with these. These are not very curved, which is why I feel better in those. We will continue to work with them. We will see what's going on. You know, I can even talk about having them maybe they can be flattened. I don't know. But now it seems like everything has adjusted, and now my body hates it when I don't wear them. So, I mean, I don't wear them all the time. It's not that strong of a prescription, but you just, it becomes noticeable. Anyways, don't let me go on any more tangents. It is Thursday, the 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I am part Irish, my dad's side of the family, Irish and English, mom's side of the family, Colombian and Argentinian. So today we celebrate the white part of my family. It's gonna be a normal Thursday. It's just like that day that, like, unfortunately, like, my schedule cannot shift really at all. I have the gym at 11, I have sleep in like 20 minutes, and then I have to be like out by noon, get home, which was like 12:15, 12:30, shower, eat, make tea. That's the thing I always forget to do. I always like to bring tea to my voice lesson, and I always, like, lately I've just been forgetting to, or like all the pieces have not been in the right place. Make tea, get back in the car, drive 2 towns over, go to my voice lesson, wear out my voice, and then come home, have a few hours to myself. Then around like 5:30 or 6, like 5:30, like depending on what time my dad finishes work, I drive to my dad's house and we watch. So right now we're watching a few things. So he's gotten me to start watching Lucifer on Netflix, which is quite good. I see why people like it. And because I told him that Lucifer is basically just Supernatural with less seasons, I'm making him watch Supernatural. We just finished season 2 and we're on season 3. I think my dad's really gonna like Castiel. We're not there yet, but I'm excited. And then when we have, because those episodes are quite long, if we get to kind of like late in the night and we don't really have time to watch another full episode of Supernatural, we will turn on Archer. Before that we were watching Letterkenny, which again, like, probably shouldn't be watching with my parents, but like it's still so freaking funny. And we did watch, if y'all aren't aware and you watch Letterkenny, they did a International Women's Day special. Also, I need to talk about the fact that Laura Hollis from Carmilla was in that episode. Like, she was taking the place of another character that I don't think they could get to film that day, and it was Laura Hollis from Carmilla, and I was like, wow, my little high school, or college, I think, my little college, you know, by heart was like, damn, haven't seen her in a minute. I might have, like, screwed up. So there was construction on the way to the gym, and then, so instead of going left, I turned right because I knew there was another way to go around to get to where I need to go. Except I've never done this route backwards, so I'm trying to like retrace my steps. But also I'm pretty sure there were like 2 left turns I could have taken that would have just put me right next to the gym. But I'm just like shit at directions. So like, I mean, I recognize all this. Like, I just have to figure out how to get to, I know what road I need to get to. But like, it was very round. I could have totally done this a quicker way. I just have no idea what that way would be. But I'm definitely like, it's like 11:06 and usually I need to be at the gym for 11, so I have a feeling I may be doing like a very short workout today. So I'm already stressed. I didn't make my bed. I got distracted. I was doing something like editing, I think. I got distracted, so then I left for the gym kind of late. Then of course there was construction everywhere, and now and then when I got back, I like took a shower and everything, and then what was I doing? I took a shower and everything, and then I went and like was getting dressed, and then I needed to dry my hair, or at very least my bangs, so they wouldn't dry weird, and so I had to do that. And then by the time I was finished with that, I had less than 15 minutes to eat. I had like peanut butter toast, not nearly enough food. I tend to not eat too well on Thursdays. Also, this is like falling. I don't eat too well on Thursdays, which is a problem. And then usually I have quite a large meal at my dad's, so like it ends up working out. But like, Thursdays are so back to back to back to back to back. I fucking hate this intersection. I always think I'm gonna be late, and I always end up being early. I've got like 9 minutes, and he's like 5 minutes away. So by the time I'll still be early. I don't think I've ever been late. hit the record button. I feel like I didn't push it hard enough. It is March 18th. Day after St. Patty's Day with the Girl Boss glass with iced coffee in it because it is 60 degrees outside, pretty much. And it's very weird because if you look outside, you know, there's no leaves on the trees. It looks very wintry. It's 65 degrees. The high today is supposed to be 70. I have a task to complete today. You guys remember Ellie from the last vlog? Ellie left their poles for their shooting setup at my house. They've been here almost a month now, so they're not going to be up this way for quite some time, so I have to ship them back to them today. So I have to go to the UPS store, and then thought about like just going out for a bit, just to, you know, get out of the house. I do want to look for something for the Taylor Swift night because I've been trying to figure out what to wear, and I want to rep my favorite album, Reputation. I used to say it wasn't my favorite album because I used to say Red was my favorite album, but I think Reputation has taken that spot. We both Rhiannon and I are Reputation, Evermore, Red girls. Argue with the wall, they're the best. So I want to wear my green snake shirt, but I want to pair it with something that's not gonna make me sweat, because I've been in a venue like this before where I've been in long pants and I died. So the plan is, I'm basing it off of, I'll put an image somewhere. I'm basing it off of this outfit, just because the way the shirt is and everything. So I need to find a black, either like pleather skirt or a jean skirt, and then I can wear sneakers to the venue, and yeah, like I need to find something along those lines. And I did some research last night. Old Navy's got something, but it's like a corduroy skirt, so I don't really think that's gonna be the thing. H&M, I imagine, might have something like it. Or really, I think any retailer kind of has this. And, you know, worst comes to worst, I go to Forever 21 and try to find something. This, unfortunately, isn't something I can, like, thrift. It's very specific. So, and I mean, I got a lot of clothes last month, so I've been trying to not buy any more clothes. In fact, I have to get rid of clothes. There's a lot of things I have to get rid of. I gotta get rid of books. I gotta get rid of clothes. I just gotta do a clean out. So I do want to go out and see if I can find like a jean skirt. The thing is, I cannot order this thing online. I have to go try them on because of the way it sits. Because I have like a waist, but also I have an ass now, and I haven't worn a skirt like this since high school maybe. So I don't know how to wear it. I think the one time I tried to do anything like it was I tried to get like a overall like jumper thing, like overall like dress, an overall like dress. This was a few years ago, like before I started going to the gym and like bulking up a bit. And it was just, no matter what size I chose, my hips were too wide for the cut of the skirt. So we're working it out. We're trying to figure it out. But that's the goal of the day, is like I'm gonna go out, gonna mail the poles back, gotta go to the UPS store, and then I'm gonna probably go to the mall and find a denim skirt that is black. But I know they're out there. They're quite popular at the moment, so a lot of stores have something like it. So that was a total bust. I went to 4 stores. I only ended up doing any kind of trying on in one. The skirt I'm looking for is not what is in fashion right now. The tennis skirt is the thing. And I did try on one in H&M just to see if maybe that could work. And it makes me look like a little kid. It actually makes me look shorter. So that cut doesn't work for me. I even tried to see if I could get like a dress in a similar cut and see if that would, if I could just wear the t-shirt over it. I did try on one that I think would have looked nice if it was a size down, but I couldn't find the next size down because it was on clearance. So I ended up leaving empty-handed, except for books, because I had some things I needed to pick up. But yeah, I'm gonna go to Target just because I have to get like some toiletry stuff and run some errands, but maybe they'll have something there. I just need a denim miniskirt, just a normal denim miniskirt in black. That is it. I don't understand what is so difficult about this, but it's like whenever you go out to the store, the one thing you're looking for is never there. So today we are making some progress. It's March 21st. Today we are gonna go for a little excursion on the freeway. Just really quick, on and off, exposure therapy. After lunchtime today, it is 12:33. I think it's the root of all my problems, so we need to be consistent and we need to say we're gonna do it and do it. You can tell how not thrilled I am about having to do it, but unfortunately nothing's gonna happen unless I do it. So, yep, we did all the research, we talked to my therapist, and I asked Ren to accompany me today so I wouldn't be doing it alone. Eventually I will have to do it alone, but that's a little ways down the road. So right now we just need to be consistent and do it and get used to it. I have all the skills. Technically the highway is safer than back roads, which I have to keep telling myself because it doesn't feel like it, but it is. It's safer, everyone's going in the same direction, and there's no stopping and starting unless you're in traffic, and I hate stopping and starting on back roads anyway. I made a playlist of songs, like good, upbeat, driving songs, trying to romanticize the experience, because that seems to be the only way I can do anything, is by making it aesthetic and cool. So we're gonna go like a cup, basically I'm gonna get on, I'm gonna merge, go like an exit or two up, get off, and we're gonna get Starbucks, and then go home. That's all I need to do today. That's all I need to do. We just need to break the seal, because it's been literal years since I've done it. So just gonna break the seal. Break the seal. I have a bunch of time off this week, so I can take that time, maybe do like one thing a day. That's it. One thing a day, and we work to manage my anxiety. Okay. I did my thing yesterday and didn't film anything. Oh, my chair's broken, so I forgot I can't lean on this. So today is the next day, and things went well. We, got on the highway, went up a few exits, got off where I wanted to, went and found a Starbucks, got Starbucks, I had lunch, went to go get gas, realized I didn't have my wallet, so I was like, okay, gonna go home, not break any laws. And then today, I was like, okay, now I have to do it by myself. So, got up today, went to the gym like normal, came home, showered, ate. I didn't want to push myself too much, like get really anxious about timing and things like that, even though I'm trying to avoid rush hour for the time being. But I knew like 3 o'clock was gonna be like really late. I didn't want to do it around 3 because everybody gets out of school around that time, and sometimes work, like that rush hour kind of starts sometimes at 3 depending. So I knew I wanted to avoid that. So I was like around 2. I got out, knew I was going to do the same loop I did, and then I was going to come back towards home and I was going to go to the library. That was going to be my reward. Yesterday it was Starbucks. Today it was I get to go to the library and get books. But not spend money. So I got 2 books. Paranormal Sea by Kirsten White. I read her book, The Something Life of Elizabeth Frankenstein, or the like Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein. And she wrote this one called Paranormal Sea. It has like it has supernatural vibes. It's come up on a few little research lists I've looked up, and that was why I went there, because I knew they had it and I didn't want to buy it because I didn't know how I'd feel about it. And then the second thing was These Fevered Days, the pivotal moments in the making of Emily Dickinson, and I love Emily Dickinson. I think she's rad, and the fact that she was buried. When she died, her death certificate listed her occupation as at home, which, same. So I'm reading so many things right now because I'm kind of like hopping from thing to thing right now. I'm in like a paranormal, supernatural vibe. I think I mentioned before, my dad and I'm showing him the series Supernatural for the first time, so it's kind of reigniting my love for the series because I'm watching it with someone who's never seen it. So I had all my supernatural, like I have a bunch of books that are supernatural themed that I used to keep in my closet on the shelf because there was no place for them. So it felt like a dark secret that I kept in the closet. And when I moved, they ended up in a box and I knew where they were, but I just hadn't had time to go through them. And luckily they're little mass market paperbacks, so they fit on my windowsill quite nicely. So they're sitting on my windowsill along with 2 other tie-in books, which is Bobby's Guide to Hunting, which I got when I was in college, and John Winchester's Journal, which I think I also got when I was in college. And then I also have, which I had never looked at closely after it was given to me, and I'm so sorry because I'm pretty sure my friend Liz gave it to me for Christmas one year, and she was like, I don't know if it's something you're into, and I was like, I love stuff like this, because I have, if you saw my house video, I have, they're all back there, the like full guide to the show, like interviews with the cast, everything. I have House in Philosophy, House in Psychology, and like something called Chasing Zebras, which is about the medical science of House. Like, I'm not a doctor, but I love shit like that. So I went and started looking through the book last night, Supernatural and Psychology, which is what Liz gave me, and they go there. Like, they're just like, what's it like to murder somebody? What's it like to deal with the death of both parents? What is it like? Like, they go through all these little beats and everything. Not necessarily like the supernatural themes per se. I think they do get into religion though. But I was going through, and like Mark Pellegrino, Lucifer himself, wrote stuff for it, and Rob Benedict, I believe, did as well. This is a very well put together book. I'm so sorry I went off on a tangent. But basically I'm trying to say is I'm fine, I'm okay. It hasn't done a number on my body in the way I've expected it to the highway. Like I'm fine. Like, I came home and I was worried today because like I had the gym in the morning, and the gym sometimes wipes me out. I was like, oh god, like I don't know. What if I go to the gym and I get really, really tired, and then I have to go do this, which is kind of stressful for me, and then, you know, go elsewhere in the town and like find stuff and shut up. Okay, and I said, you know what? It's gonna be good for your sleep tonight. That's what I said to myself, because I haven't been falling asleep early enough. Like, I go to bed kind of late, but like, as long as I fall asleep by like midnight or 12:30, I'm usually okay. But lately I haven't been falling asleep till like 2 or 3 in the morning. And last night I thought I was gonna fix that because I felt tired, and then once I was in bed I was like, I'm not tired anymore. It's gonna wear you out. It'll be good. Like, you'll be tired, you'll go to sleep, you'll get good sleep, then you'll be good for Wednesday, because the plan is to do a little bit every day. It's just, it just needs to be in my arsenal and in my body. It needs to be, yeah. So if I wait to do it again, it's going to make things a lot harder. So far I have been okay. When I was in it with my sibling yesterday, my body was good. I was very calm. I was freaking out a little bit, but it was nice because I had another person there. Today I definitely felt it more in my body. Like, I definitely felt myself like kind of death gripping while I was on the highway, even though nothing was happening. There were a lot of tractor trailers, so I did feel a little boxed in at some points, but I knew as long as I could just get off the right place, I'd be fine. So I had to keep kind of reminding myself to relax, and I definitely felt the anxiety before, but During, you know, I worked it out, I stayed calm, I did okay. After, I felt fine. Checking in just really quick. Went again. I'm tired. I did a little more than normal. I went up one more exit to like around where my work is. A little different, a little more things I had to pay attention to, and then I challenged myself to loop back around and go back in the other direction. So I did have navigation on, but really all I was waiting for, I knew what exit I have to get off of because I live near it. So I was like, okay, I just need to go to this exit. Wait, there are a few things like around like one of the towns where like, you know, 3 lanes turned into 4 and then it turned back into 3 and then things like that. But like overall I was able to handle it. The car in front of me was very slow. Like I was going 50 at one point because there was this trailer in front of me and I was like, well, I have to be in this lane anyway, so I can't really pass him and everybody is on my left, so I'm kind of stuck here. No one cared. As long as you're in the right hand lane, no one gives a shit. No one gives a shit, which I think I was worried about. I was worried like people would think I was going too slow or something, but if you're in the right hand lane, no one cares. So, just a little check-in. I shot this once, and it was dark, and it cut out, and it was not concise. So, final week of March, I really didn't film because it was pretty much more of the same. It was practicing the highway, which is going really well. I don't really have to do it daily anymore because the momentum's been reached. So now I just go when it makes sense to go when I'm out. Because I also would like to save gas, because gas is expensive right now. Second thing, one thing that did happen was my car broke, so I had to go get that fixed. $1,900 later, it is fixed. I owe my mom $500. Luckily, I am getting a bonus from my work at the end of the week, so half of that is going to her, and half of it is going to credit card bills. Money has been the theme of the month. Money and health problems, but right now, financially, things are tight. I am planning on going through and culling a lot of stuff just to trim some superfluous like bills and things because I just can't afford to be doing what I was doing when I was making a decent amount of money. And my job, I was on the job search, and then my job announced a huge pay raise. I'm not going to say what it is because it might give away the company, so I don't really want to like reveal where I work, but almost living wage, like almost. Like if I was making 20 hours a week, it would be really good, which I am not right now. And people did point out to me, like, even if you do get that pay raise, like that pay times 0 is still 0, and I'm like, yeah, I know. But on top of that pay raise, I was told that more hours are coming down the pike because traffic has now picked up, which is why I wasn't working for so long, is because there wasn't enough customers to justify having a ton of staff. So yeah, so the big thing this month seems to have been money and my various health problems, whether that be mental or physical. So it was either a flare-up, or it was a headache, or it was my phobia getting in the way, which we are working on. So I'm kind of happy I made progress on the phobia front. Still have plenty of existential questions to answer. Everybody keeps kind of asking, what are you gonna do? Like, in a life sort of way. And what sucks is like when you know what you want from life but you have no path. Like I've known what I wanted to do with my life since I was very young. That is a very nice place to be from what I understand, because there's certainly a lot of people I know who don't know what they want. But I have always known what I wanted, except I have no clear path on how to get there because it's different for everybody, which is stressful. Especially when you have social media and I can see everybody doing the exact same thing I'm doing. Luckily, I'm a very contrary person and feel the need to do the opposite of what everybody's doing. So, March, I've been picking words for every month. Last month was transformation, because it was constantly me obsessing about my appearance. And this month was definitely a transformation, but it was like inner transformation kind of thing, which we are still working on. We're still kind of working our way towards things. I definitely had a day this month where I kind of went off somewhere in nature, in private, and I started a new journal, and I was like, starting now, we're going to be making some changes. And we're starting to. And right now I'm trying to get back to basics, which is something I think I said earlier in the month. We're trying to go back to basics. Physical, like getting back into my routine that I set for myself to kind of regulate me. Going to sleep on time, waking up on time, eating 3 meals a day, making sure I stretch so I'm not in pain all the time, personal hygiene, changing my clothes, like things like that, because right now my room is a mess. And every single clip in this, I think I talk about cleaning my room. And clean up my room, because it is a mess. Organized, clean up my room a bit. I always say that, clean up my room. And it's because my mental state reflects my space a lot, or vice versa. So I know I am scatterbrained right now because I haven't had the energy to organize my space. So that might be step 1 for April. I have a whole day off on Friday. Everybody's asking me, what are you gonna do with your life? And I'm like, I'm trying to get back to a place where I'm stable enough to think about that. We're working on it. March has always been an in-between month for me. It's never been like a means to an end or an A to B situation. It's always been amalgamous, I guess. The word I chose for this month was chronic, which means, you know, one day after the other, because I dealt with all of my chronic issues, which is back pain, severe headaches, and my phobia of the highway. So I felt like that would be a good word for this month, which is chronic. Really wonder what April's gonna be. I'm going back to New York, which always brings up a bunch of stuff for me. Don't know why. Travel just makes me like nostalgic and like I think about things. When you have too much travel time, like your brain just goes places. So I'm very curious to see what next month is gonna bring. We're just gonna keep trucking along. I will see you next month.
Got my driver's license last week, just like we always talked about. 'Cause you were so excited for me to finally drive up to your house. Yet today I drove through the suburbs, crying 'cause you weren't around. And you're probably with that blonde girl who always made me doubt. She's so much older than me, she's everything I'm insecure about. Yeah, today I drove through the suburbs, 'cause how could I ever love someone else? And I know we weren't perfect, but I never felt this way for no one. And I just can't imagine how you could be so okay now that I'm gone. Guess you didn't mean what you wrote in that song about me. 'Cause you said forever, now I drive alone past your street.